Jurassic Park 3 is the black sheep of the Jurassic Park franchise. It's the shortest movie with the most bare-bones plot and probably the single most controversial decision in a Jurassic Park movie ever. Putting feathers on a raptor. But it did get a bunch of tie-in video games, including the PC game Jurassic Park 3 Dino Defender. This short and sweet platformer was the first Jurassic Park game I ever had. The only other one was Danger Zone, which turned out to be pretty significant. The plot of Dino Defender is that a hurricane has destroyed the fences on Isla Sorna and you have to capture all carnivores to prevent them from wiping out the dinosaur population, which is already a more interesting premise than the actual movie. Plus, you look like one of the soldiers from those old Actimel commercials. While you are supposed to catch every dinosaur that crosses your path, technically all you need to do to progress through the 5 levels is activating every power converter, so you can enter the gate at the end of each level. Which begs the question, is it possible to beat Jurassic Park 3 Dino Defender without actually catching any animals? I'm calling this the DPG challenge in reference to the dinosaur protection group from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I have to give a huge shout out to the YouTube channel Winslinator, whose speedruns were a huge help in helping out how to progress through the levels. Yes, of course there are speedruns of this game. So first let me explain how you capture dinosaurs in this game. These crates are scattered throughout the levels and contain both ammunition and dinosaur voice boxes. While we can use the voice boxes to lure the dinosaurs into a particular spot, we are forbidden from using nets for compies or tranquilizers for raptors and pteranodons. We'll get to the T-Rex later. At the end of each level, the number of captured dinosaurs on our inventory screen has to be 0, and we immediately have a problem. You see, right now we are in the training room, and even though there isn't a single dinosaur here, the inventory screen tells us we have captured a compy, a raptor, a pteranodon and a T-Rex. So, does that mean our challenge is over before we even started? Well, when you make a new player account, it's possible to just skip the training room and go right into the first level. But that's not a walk through the complete game for me. So what I did instead is I completed the training level with those supposed captured dinosaurs, and once I entered the first actual level I exited. Since my training room inventory screen has now been overwritten by the first level inventory screen, if I re-enter the training room either with this account or just a completely new account, the inventory screen will now be completely blank. Now I am able to complete the training room without supposedly having caught any dinosaurs. Just make sure you don't interact with any of the dinosaur crates or you will get the same display again. Now we're in the real game. Level 1 has 5 compies, 4 raptors, but all we need is the 2 power converters. The first one is directly to our left and is guarded by 3 compies that will quickly kill you. At first I went to the compy crate, threw down a voice box to lure them towards me, jumped over them, ran to the power converter, ran back to the compies and jumped over them again. Also keep in mind that the power converters act as checkpoints. If you die, you will respawn there. So you are on a timer because as soon as the voice box fades away, the compies will come for you. I eventually found out that you can apparently just run through the compies without getting hurt while they are standing at the voice box. However, Winslinator has a much faster strat. At your start of the level, if you run to the left and jump just before leaving the screen, there is a chance that the compies will not immediately attack you if you jump over them. This allows you to activate the power converter and you can jump over the compies again and run forward in the level. However, this comes at a risk. As I already said, the power converters are your checkpoints. So if you jump over the compies and RNG is not nice to you, they will attack you just as you activate the power converter. In this case, you will respawn at this same point and instantly die again, in a never-ending loop of death that you cannot escape from. Trying to skip over the compy death cutscene will even trigger a script error, so you are forced to close the game and try again. This is what the pro gamers call a gay baby gel. The second power converter is guarded by 3 raptors. This is where we use a raptor voice box to lure all 3 of them to the bottom floor, so we can get on the upper floor and push this rock to get to the power converter. Don't worry, once the raptors are on the bottom floor, they cannot get back up, so you are safe up there. The 4th raptor is on top of the cliff, so we can just ignore it. Same with the remaining 2 compies. We swimmed into the underwater cave and now we've cleared level 1 without catching a single dinosaur. Level 2 has 6 compis, 4 raptors and 2 power converters. Normally you would catch this compi so you can climb down the stone pillar without it attacking you. However, thanks to Winslinator, I know that you can just run and jump over him and still get down near the floor. The compi might kill you, so you can use a voice box to keep it in place. At the bottom are 3 compis that will kill you if you jump down here, so you have to lure them to the screen with the stone pillar. You can do this either by throwing down the voice box or using yourself as bait. While the compis are on this screen, run to the next screen and jump over this hole to get to the raptor crate. Now this part is where I thought the DPG run would already be over. As soon as we activate that power converter, an elevator is going to come down with a raptor inside. How can we dodge a raptor that is right in our path? We cannot run back and climb onto the rocks because then the compis will get us. And even worse, since this is our checkpoint, we will be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Metaphorically. This part is why it is impossible to beat Jurassic Park 3 Dino Defender without using any voice boxes. When a voice box is active, a raptor will stay at the voice box and sniff it. While a raptor is sniffing or turning around, it does not hurt you, so you can actually run past it. But if you touch even just the tip of its tail when it's not in these motions, you're dead. Since this is our checkpoint, it's best to throw the voice box before activating the power converter because there's a very short time window between respawning, the elevator dropping down and the raptor getting you. Also make sure you take a few steps away from the voice box so the raptor doesn't kill you before it stops to sniff the ground. And face the right way so you don't throw the voice box off screen where it won't activate. Once you are in the elevator, you are safe as the raptor cannot go back inside it. If you don't want to keep doing that part, you can use a save state once you are in the elevator. But now we have a problem. There was only a single voice box in that raptor crate, so behind this pit are 2 raptors we won't be able to distract. Luckily, the first one is up on this platform, so while it jumps down, you jump up and climb onto this platform. It can't get back up again, so you are safe on these rocks. To get to the next screen, you have to crawl into that space on the left. So you have to wait until both raptors are as far to the right as possible before you jump and crawl in there. You can help a little bit by using yourself as bait again. Then you get to the second power converter. There are 2 compis to the left that we can ignore because we now need to get back to the elevator. Climb up the rock on the right side and if you want you can pick up a raptor voice box along the way. Drop down onto the platforms and now you either lure the raptors with the voice box into the left corner so you can easily get to the right, or if you are really brave, do it without the voice boxes. At the top of the elevator shaft is the final raptor that will run after you as soon as you get out of the elevator. But luckily, there is a Stegosaurus on the next screen, and as soon as you arrive on that screen, the raptor stops chasing you. Get past the 2 Stegosaurs and there you have it. Level 2 cleared without catching a single dinosaur. Level 3 has 2 compis, 1 raptor, 2 pteranodons and 4 power converters. Both the compis and the raptor are on side paths, so you can just ignore them. And at the start of the level you have to get past this pteranodon without using any gear anyway. So just use the rocks as cover and crawl through this space to get to the first power converter. The only tricky part that I thought might kill this run is the second pteranodon on top of this cliff. Because normally you would hide behind a rock, throw a voice box and tranquilize it so you are in no rush to activate the second power converter. I was actually considering to allow catching this one because technically it is not a dinosaur. Before even trying if the voice box lasts long enough for you to climb up that platform and get to the checkpoint before the pterosaur goes after you, I looked up Winslinator's strat. So when you climb onto the cliff, just immediately run towards the right, get up onto the platform and then keep running and jump towards the power converter. After activating it, you have to quickly climb onto the wall because the pteranodon cannot hurt you while you are climbing for whatever reason. Just keep in mind that if you die, your checkpoint again only gives you a few seconds before you die again, so you might want to put up a save state here. That pteranodon was already the last catchable animal of this level, so now you just have to climb up the mountain, activate the third power converter, climb down the mountain while being chased by baby pterosaurs which you cannot catch anyway, and activate the fourth power converter to clear level 3. Level 4 has 1 pteranodon, 4 raptors and 1 T-Rex. At the start of the level, you have to run to this bridge and climb up these vines, so the T-Rex falls into the pit. But now the question is, does this count as a captured dinosaur or not? Technically, the T-Rex is trapped down there, but the inventory screen doesn't say it's captured, so it doesn't count. Anyway, this level has 3 power converters and the first one is down there with the T-Rex. This checkpoint is the reason it is not possible to complete Jurassic Park 3 Dino Defender while using only voice boxes. Because we are now trapped down here in an endless staring contest with the T-Rex if we don't distract it with a flare. Luckily, if we throw a flare at it and climb back up, the inventory screen still doesn't count it as captured. So it seems what's really impossible in this game is actually catching every single dinosaur. The Pteranodon is in the treetop, so we can just ignore it. At the forest floor, we first go to the left to activate the second power converter and get the raptor voice box. There are 3 raptors ahead of us, and for once I'm not brave enough to do what Winslinator did. He threw the voice box and then just ran through all 3 raptors. I instead threw the voice box from the safety of this tree, went back to get a new one in case I need it for the 4th raptor, and then just jumped over the raptors. Luckily there are stegosaurs ahead, and like in level 2, the raptors stop following you once you're on the screen with the stegosaurus. At the waterfall I was again afraid that the run might be dead. The problem is this raptor right here. This level's last catchable dinosaur next to this level's last power converter. It can jump between the 2 platforms, so again there's the risk of activating the checkpoint right as it kills you, resulting in another loop of endless deaths. You can't throw down a voice box from above, and you don't have the time to do it when you're on the platform. Luckily, there's another trivia I learned from Winslinator's video. Raptors do not kill you while they are jumping. This plus the short moment where the raptor growls before attacking you actually gives you a larger time window than I thought. So what you have to do is lure the raptor to the right platform, which you can either do by climbing down from this big rock or just dropping down right in front of the raptor and jumping to the right. Once the raptor is on the right platform, you get on the left platform as fast as possible and activate the power converter. Now I have to be honest, I was trying out different things and didn't manage to avoid dying after activating the checkpoint. So in the first scenario, I activated the checkpoint and I think I would have been able to climb down those vines before the raptor got me if I hadn't messed up that jump. Nevertheless, when I respawned, the raptor first did its growl before jumping towards me, so I had enough time to climb down the vines anyway. The second scenario is the weirder one. I jumped onto the lower right platform and tried to bait the raptor as far away as possible. Then I jumped onto the left platform, ran towards the checkpoint, and after activating it realized that this was a bad idea. Now I may have just been lucky, but even though the raptor was already standing on the platform when it killed me, it would still start with the jump animation whenever I respawned. So if I ran immediately, I would be able to run through the jumping raptor and climb down the vines. The strangest thing was that this jump caused the raptor to be misaligned with the floor. Its feet were now beneath the platform and its hurt box could actually kill me at the top of the vines. No matter how many times I made the jump between the platforms or whether I went to a different screen and back, this poor raptor was permanently stuck in a parallel universe where the floor is slightly lower. Anyway, that's the last catchable dinosaur of this level, so go through the gate, turn around because the Spinosaurus shows up, and enter level 5. Level 5 has 5 raptors, and even though this T-Rex is literally inside a paddock, it's not on the inventory screen, so we don't have to worry about catching it. And again, it's impossible to get past the T-Rex without using any gear. This level has 4 power converters, but only the first one in the T-Rex paddock and the 4th one in the Spinosaurus paddock are actually required for progress. I'm going to use mostly save states in this level anyway because all those deadly gas leaks make the level really annoying. So once I got the raptor voice box, I dropped down from this ladder to get a little head start on these 2 raptors. Now I can't just run from them for one reason. This raptor right here. This is the biggest roadblock on our path to a DPG run. Since we are being chased by the other 2, we don't have the time to crouch, throw a voice box and run past the single raptor while it's sniffing the ground. Or maybe it would have actually been possible if I didn't waste so much time crawling, but I still wanted to try something easier. So on my next attempt I climbed down the ladder, but as soon as the raptors ran towards me, I climbed up again, causing them to jump down onto the bottom floor. Once they are down, they cannot get up. Neither can you, by the way. Then I threw a voice box into the left corner and learned that the 3rd raptor doesn't respawn to this voice box, either because it's too far away or because the dinosaur isn't even loaded until you enter the right screen. So while the 2 raptors are distracted in the left corner, I have to get to the right screen to get the raptor's attention and then immediately turn around and run for the ladder. Also, do not activate that switch. This switch creates a permanent gas leak, and if it traps the raptor in the corner, the inventory screen will register it as captured, even though it's not tranquilized. Now that I have all 3 raptors down there, I can just lure them into the left corner with another voice box, right?
No.
The crate has only a single voice box, so while these 3 raptors are strolling around at the bottom, I have to go around all the gas leaks again to get another voice box. And if I miss that shot, I have to do it again. The problem is that by the time I get back with another voice box, some of the raptors actually start wandering off the screen. Luckily, the 2 raptors will always run towards the voice box no matter how far off screen they were. And yeah, the 3rd raptor completely ignores it. No idea why it worked that time. Another annoyance is that even though you are 1 floor above them, the raptors sometimes know that you are there, so they will stop below your position and snap at you, even while you're trying to get them into the corner with the voice box. Alternatively, this may actually help you to lure the one raptor that doesn't respond to the voice box near the left corner. This entire run hinges on finding a moment where that raptor is far enough towards the left that you can lure in the other 2 with the voice box, drop down the ladder and run towards the right. Once again, the raptor is stopped by an elevator, because Jurassic Park's raptors are inferior to Primeval's raptors. After this ordeal, you better put up a safe state, because this gas leak is by far the worst thing in the entire game. Now you just have to wait on the ladder till these 2 raptors are as far on the left side as possible before you climb up those chains. As I already said, you don't need to activate the 3rd power converter, so you can just climb straight up to the Spinosaurus paddock. At this point, we've already succeeded. Those raptors were the last animals you could catch, and now all you have to do is get out of the Spinosaurus paddock. Even though there's a cutscene before you enter the museum, the inventory screen still shows that this is level 5, and we still have 5 uncaught raptors. So all you have to do now is drop some skeletons on the Spinosaurus, which does not count as capturing it because it's not on the inventory screen, and we did it. We proved that it is possible to beat Jurassic Park 3 Dino Defender without catching a single animal.
Not so fast! Hello Rick Raptor from 2019, here's Rick Raptor from 2022. And what you never bother to check is that when you push down that boulder in level 1, the raptors at the bottom of the pit are automatically registered as caught. And as you cannot progress forward in the level if you do not push down this boulder, there's no way around it. So the actual answer is, it is possible to beat Jurassic Park 3 Dino Defender without catching any animal with nets or tranquilizers, but it is not possible to beat it without no dinosaur ever being registered as caught. And if you're thinking, well, I cannot avoid trapping those 2 raptors down there, maybe I can keep the 3rd one free by distracting it with a voice box while I activate that mandatory 2nd power converter, well...
Gay baby Joe.